Update. Am I the asshole for no longer bringing dinner for my wife after she claimed I never cook? Original post. I work at a nice restaurant as a cook, and every day when I get off from work, I always cook dinner for my wife and our 2 kids, 8 male and 6 female, at the restaurant before coming home. The only time I don't cook for them are on weekends when I'm off, and that's when my wife does the cooking. We usually trade off who makes breakfast and lunch for the kids every other day, but for the week, I'm always the one bringing home dinner. Weekends, we sometimes get together with friends and they come over to the house. My wife usually cooks and I help set the table, clean up afterwards. One of her friends, Stacy, asked how come I never do any of the cooking and is it always on my wife all the time, making meals for the kids, especially when I'm a cook myself. Instead of correcting her, she sort of laughed and went along with it, making jokes about, you know how it is. And Stacy laughed because her ex-husband was the same way. And that sort of ripped on me in a joking way, how I better buck up before I become an ex too. My wife just said, well, let's see if he actually listens and starts cooking for once. Joking about all the time I spend in the kitchen at work, but won't do the same at home. It really pissed me off. I'm not the husband that just doesn't do anything after I'm home from work. I cook food for her and the kids at work, and on top of that, I make separate dishes for each of them, what she wants and what the kids want. All that after standing on my feet all day. We talked about it once they left because I don't appreciate being told I'm not doing something that she knows for a fact I do. She didn't want to apologize for it because it was all just to be a funny joke, even after telling me about how it hurt my feelings being put down like that. My wife said she felt like she has to go along with the joke so there wouldn't be any awkward vibes, whatever that means. But I said fine, if she can't apologize for something that was mean just so she could laugh along with her friends, then I won't keep doing something she already claims I don't do. For the past week, I've only brought home dinner for our kids, and she's had to make her own food. She's mad that I'm refusing to feed her over what happened instead of letting it go. But I can't help but feel mad about being made fun of like that when I'm busting my ass to provide for my family and still making sure they have food on the table every evening. She just thinks I'm an asshole for how I'm reacting when she's already tired at the end of the day but still having to make food for herself. Am I the asshole? My opinion for OP. Hey OP, I get where you're coming from, and I think you already do a lot more than most husbands do in preparing meals. Look, you've made your point to your wife by not cooking her dinner for the past week, even though you're still doing dinners for the kids. I'm sure she now realizes how hard you work for your family and appreciates you more. So why not go back to cooking dinner for your wife like you used to and talk some more to her about how you feel? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Comment 1. Not the asshole. Your wife missed a great opportunity to boast on you, all for acceptance by others who have nothing invested in your relationship. Comment 2. Not the asshole. Your spouse is supposed to be your partner in everything in life. The person who always has your back like you always have theirs. She threw you directly under the bus for the sake of not creating waves with her friend. Then, when you told her you didn't find her comments at all funny and quite hurtful, but she let someone else believe you're a deadbeat, she blew you off. So she can make her own dinner until she sincerely apologizes and acknowledges that your contribution to the family of cooking dinner during the week is important. Comment 3. I feel like it was an excuse to worry about making waves. I don't understand why actually he cooks during the week would create an awkward moment. Comment 4. Not the asshole. That was freaking rude. Heck, I brag about my hubby cooking and home caring and thank him for every meal he cooks. He does the same for me and we have been doing that for over 15 years. Beyond that, I would never expect a professional cook to do the home cooking. When I used to work in the kitchen 10 hours a day, the last thing I wanted to do after work or on days off was to be cooking. Lol. During that time, hubby did all the home cooking and caning because he wanted me to have a work-home separation going on. On the rare occasion he got teased, he defended me vociferously, said he loved getting better in the kitchen, and when that job ended, we would really kick ass together in the kitchen, laugh out loud. Comment 5. Not the arsehole. Are you kidding me here? Men not doing their share is a legit gripe for many, many women. Your wife should have absolutely said that you did all the cooking during the week, 100%. Guys that share this responsibility should not be lumped together with the ones that don't. Do you still have sex? The reason I ask is because it's a long-running joke for married men to say their wives stopped having sex once they got a ring. And that is the situation for many. So, would she like it if you heard a man saying that and you related by saying, yay, your wife doesn't either? Same exact thing. And if I heard my husband say it, I'd probably stop having sex for a while because I'd be offended and insulted. Not the arsehole, but could be the beginning of the end if you two can't deal with these types of things. Not okay to basically put someone down for something they don't do just to fit in. It's called disrespect. Now for the update. At first, wasn't going to post another update, but since things have gotten better, why not? I didn't show my wife this post like some suggested until a few days later, but before that, she wanted to talk before bed. And she apologized for how she's been behaving with me when she made those jokes and let her friends say things about me, then how she was acting afterwards. In reality, she knew she did wrong, but when I called her out, it made her defensive, and she realizes how she was acting like a child after knowing how much I do for our family. That's when I showed her the post. I'd opened up about something that was mentioned to me in my comments, how it really hit a nerve for me, making it seem like I'm a lousy father, husband, when my dad was exactly that. He abandoned me and my mum. She knows how important it is for me to be as involved as possible when our kids were born because I never wanted to be like him. So her making it seem like that's how I am brought up some feelings. Telling her this has really made her feel like she effed up big time. She wouldn't stop apologizing. She promised she'd never put me down that way. And honestly, I think she's shown that she meant her apology. For a week, she wanted to be the one making dinner for everyone, so I'd have some time to relax after work. It was nice, but also I miss making meals for my family. Cooking for my kids is my own way of expressing my love for them, so we're back to that as well. I feel like my wife has more than shown how sorry she is, and she appreciates what I also do for this family. Last time we had lunch with her friend a few days ago, on my day off. She even brought it up. As mad as I was when it happened, it's nice to see she's made an effort to make amends. The support I got from her here was very sweet. Appreciate feeling heard when it felt like my wife wasn't at the time. Story 2. Myself, 24 female, best friend, 23 female, did something horrible at a mutual family friend's wedding and blamed it on my younger sister, 19 female. I am considering cutting ties with her, but I'm having a hard time. Plus update. Original post. Hi Reddit. This is a bit of an unusual situation, but I'll try to explain it as best I can. The story involves myself, 24 female, my best friend Caroline, 23 female, my younger sister Nicola, 19 female, and our mutual friend groomsman Daniel, 28 male. Using real names because I know Caroline doesn't do Reddit, and if anyone who witnessed this happens to see this, I'd love for them to get the actual facts of the story. So over the weekend, a very good family friend of both my family and Caroline's family was getting married. Caroline and I have been best friends for years. We met when we were toddlers. Our mums are best friends. Our sisters are friends, etc, etc. You get the picture. We knew that both of our families would be invited to this wedding, and we were looking forward to it for months. It's important to note that Caroline's family and my family have a ton of mutual friends, and this was going to be a very large wedding. Guest count was in the 500s. Everything was going fine and dandy until Caroline got completely wasted. She kept talking to me about how hot one of the groomsmen, Daniel, was, and how she had had a crush on him for years, but he showed no interest. This was probably because he was in a serious relationship and had been dating his current girlfriend for around 6 years. The girlfriend decided not to attend this wedding because she didn't know the bride and groom very well, and because Daniel would be a groomsman, she wouldn't see him very much either. Fast forward a couple of hours, and Caroline is hanging all over Daniel. She's constantly asking him to dance with her, get her drinks from the open bar, etc. She's point blank throwing herself at him, and it was embarrassing and painful to watch. I tried intervening a couple of times to get her off him, but she snapped at me. And at that point, I decided that it wasn't my problem. Furthermore, Daniel wasn't completely pushing her away. He looked like he had a few drinks in him as well, and seemed somewhat interested in Caroline. I decided that if he didn't care, I certainly wasn't going to. If he wanted to throw his relationship away, it was none of my concern. I tried. I didn't witness this next part, but by the end of the night, Caroline and Daniel were having sex in a different room of the hall. Yes, it escalated quickly. To their misfortune, someone, I'm not sure who, just that it was someone's mum who knew Daniel and his girlfriend but didn't know Caroline, walked in on them. And for some reason, Caroline told this woman that she was Nicola, my sister. I don't know if she was embarrassed or drunk or what, but she purposely identified herself as Nicola so Caroline herself would not be in trouble. Word quickly spread that Daniel and Nicola were caught having sex, and Nicola was mortified. People were talking about how disrespectful, home-wrecking, rude, and slutty Nicola was. I honestly can't even blame them. Had I not known better, I would be thinking the same things. On top of that, Caroline had gone around actually telling other people that it was Nicola and confirming the rumor she started. The bride and groom were pissed. Everyone was talking badly about my sister, and Caroline seemed to not care. In fact, when I confronted her about the situation at the wedding, she straight up denied it. Had Daniel not confirmed that it was Caroline he was hooking up with and not Nicola, I might even have believed her. The next day, Caroline texted Nicola a half-hearted apology about the whole thing, saying she was so drunk and didn't know what she was doing. The text included a lot of lols and ha-ha-has. So I'm not sure how seriously Caroline is taking the situation. She doesn't seem to realize how mortified Nicola is. Nicola genuinely thinks that her life is ruined. We live in a very tight-knit community, and a lot of people have heard the false version of what went down. I'm at odds with what to do. Up until this point, Caroline had been a very good friend to both I and Nicola. I'm just not sure if I can forgive her for this, especially considering her lack of consciousness about how bad the situation really is. Should I dump her, or should I give her another chance? Our friendship will be different regardless. My family sees Caroline in a completely different light now, so even if I forgave her, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of the same things we used to. Hang out at my house, do things with my family, etc. What should I do, Reddit? Edit. At this point, a lot of people know that it was Caroline with Daniel and not Nicola. However, I'm not sure how many is a lot. Our family friends know, but there were a lot of guests at the wedding who knew Caroline's family better than they did mine. I'm sure these people still think it was Nicola. Edit 2. Another issue is that Nicola is also terrified of the potential ramifications from Daniel's current girlfriend. I have absolutely no updates on the situation with the girlfriend. I don't know her well, and I don't know what Daniel has chosen to share with her, if anything at all. Edit 3. Because a lot of people are asking me how I could even consider remaining friends with Caroline. Prior to this experience, she was honestly a great best friend. Of course, we have had our ups and downs like all friends do, but she has always been a kind and caring person, and I really valued our friendship. I've known her my whole life, and the evening at the wedding was very uncharacteristic of her, including her coming onto a man who was in a relationship. Throwing away a friendship with someone who you've been close with for 15 plus years is extremely difficult. However, I am prepared to do this if it's the right thing to do. Now for the update. First off, I wanted to give a huge thank you to everyone who responded. I definitely did not expect such a large amount of help and guidance from everyone. This community is awesome, and I really appreciate everyone's time and advice. I unfortunately could not respond to very many people's posts as I left the thread overnight, and once I woke up, it was locked, so I figured the least I could do is provide an update. So, about a week and a half ago, Caroline casually called me and asked to sleep over. She wanted to attend an event downtown, and my place was much closer to the event than hers. At this point, it became very clear that Caroline had no idea anybody was upset with her, despite the fact that Nicola and I hadn't spoken with her since the wedding. I told Caroline that I didn't think her sleeping over was a good idea, and when she had asked why, I brought up what happened at the wedding. She laughed and said Nicola needed to grow up and get over it, and it really seemed like she expected me to agree and laugh along with her. Well, Reddit, I took your advice and let her have it. I told her how selfish and inconsiderate she was, and if it truly was no big deal, then she should have no problem taking full responsibility for her actions and publicly acknowledging that she was the one who hooked up with Daniel and not Nicola. I told her she needed to make things right because Nicola was still mortified over something she didn't do. At the end of the phone call, I gave her an ultimatum: post an apology to Facebook and spill the beans about what actually happened, or our friendship was over. Thanks to the Redditor who suggested this. To my complete and utter surprise, she did it. I thought it would make me feel better, but people were actually commenting on her FB status, commending her bravery and the fact that she did the right thing. I was super annoyed because, of course, she would never have done this had I not forced her to. But at the end of the day, Nicola is happy and her name is in the clear. Oh, and an update on Daniel and his girlfriend. According to his Instagram, they are happy together. Whether or not she knows about Caroline, I don't know, and I don't care. Not my train wreck.